Hey, how's it going, everybody? So this is Ajari again for game number 26 of the Sega Genesis Mini celebration. This is Street Fighter 2 Special Championship Edition. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm not even gonna mention the intro. They changed it, and I'm assuming they changed it for a certain reason. You guys figure it out on your own, but it's pretty hilarious. Let's see here. Okay, let's go to time limit. Keep all that the same. Connect. What is that? All right. Anyway, all right. Let's just go. Let's just make sure our. Hold on a second. All right. So here we go, the intro. Those of you who played Street Fighter before, you know how the original intro in the arcade, and I think the Super Nintendo version as well. It was a mob full of, I'm gonna just say it was a mob full of white people, and then there was one black dude that got punched out. It looked like a lynching. It was crazy. If you noticed or cared, it was pretty offensive. But they seemed to they changed it for this one. And rightfully so. But let's get on with the game. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Ryu because he is Mr. Street Fighter. So you know every game should be, in my opinion, should be based on Ryu and revolve. All other characters should revolve around Ryu. Even though I'm not a Ryu player myself, but I feel like that's how it should be. So we can tell right away that the sound quality is less than the just like my sound quality here. By the way, I bought some sound deadening foam, some studio foam, and I don't think it really did too much. This new room that I'm in is let's get him dizzy real quick. This room that I'm in is hardwood floors, and the ceiling is that newer style ceiling where it doesn't have that old like popcorn foam on the top, so it doesn't catch a lot of the sound. Everything just bounces all around the room. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. I'm thinking about getting like a throw rug. I think that's what they call them, just like a little rug that you just throw on the floor. And for the ceiling, I really don't know what I'm gonna do.Maybe I'll just get some more sound deadening foam and just put it up on the ceiling. But I have like 16 pieces right here on the walls, and I just still hear that echo. So I think the majority of the sound is just coming from the ceiling and the floor. So for those of you whoever's watching me, for those of you who are watching me, I appreciate that you guys are still rocking with me, even though my sound quality has gone down. But oh, anyway, what I was saying about the Street Fighter sound itself of the Sega Genesis version of Street Fighter, you can tell that the sound quality is a little bit lesser from the arcade version and the Super Nintendo version. If you guys have ever played that, it's a lower quality. The sound quality of Ryu saying Hadouken, just the voices, the music quality is a little bit lesser, and you can tell the visuals as well are a little bit less colorful. They're darker, a little bit darker. But if all you had was a Sega Genesis back in the day, man, this was still a very good version of the game. And I'm kind of cheating right now, playing with the 6-button controller. So the unit, when it comes out, is going to come with 3-button controllers, and that's going to be pretty much impossible to play this game. So I'm sorry, you guys. I'm still an advocate for the and my foam just fell off the wall. I'm using the spray adhesive and it's not sticking very well. But me get this guy real quick. But yeah, I'm still an advocate for the 3-button controller because that's what I grew up with on the Sega Genesis Mini or Sega Genesis. So I'm nostalgic for that controller. You know what I mean? That's what we held in our hands. The console itself, you know, it's like, you know, a few feet away from us. You know what I mean? We don't really interact with it too much while playing the game, but the controller you actually have in your hand. Gotcha. Dang. So yeah, I just had to beat him real quick. But yeah, the controller is the thing that you hold in your hand, so that's very important to recapture that nostalgic feel that you had for, you know, something that you were a little kid. You know, like if you had I don't know, if you had like a old. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick real quick. I'm all over the place, but stuff is happening so fast, and I got so much to talk about. So you just do that, and you can just hear the sound quality in this too, man. This the car crashing is lower. It's not a game breaker. Can't even do the all you can with this controller, man. But what was I talking about? Yeah, the controller is everything, man. If you had a Transformer toy or Voltron or something like that as a kid, or any toy as a kid, and it was like plastic or whatever, you know what I mean, or a certain size, and you go back and somebody, you know, you grow up and you don't have that toy for a while, and you know, all you have is your memories, and somebody shows you like a knockoff version or a different version that came out later or something like that to save cost. They use like a different material. It used to be metal, but then they used plastic or something like that, or you know what I mean? It was made out of wood, or they used plastic. Got them. And it's not going to be the same. It's not going to. So the same thing for the Sega Genesis controller for me. You got the 6-button controller. I know a lot of you guys did grow up with the 6-button controller though, or I assume a lot of people did. So you know it'd be the same for you. Having a 3-button controller, maybe, I'm assuming. It's hard trying to play this game and talk at the same time. Whoa. More foam is falling off the wall. Oh, he's gonna do that little. Alright. Oh man, this foam is falling off the wall, man, like crazy. And I'm using spray glue too. It's not damaging the paint though. That's a good thing. So I think I'm gonna try to let Blanca beat me and pick another character. Let him beat me, right? He might just do it naturally. Hit him with a meaty. Blocking all my meaties. I can't do I'm so used to stick now, man. Alright, here we go. I'm so used to stick, man. I can't play with a controller anymore. And I grew up with a controller. But yeah, it's going to be impossible for you guys to play this game on the Sega Genesis with a 3-button controller. I think. I mean, it was hard with a Super Nintendo controller. And that had 4 buttons. We just never used these 2 buttons right here. The middle buttons, we just never used them. Alright. But at the same time, while it's going to be impossible for you guys to play this game on the Sega Genesis Mini with a 3-button controller, to be honest, man, would you really want to play this on the Sega Genesis Mini? There's so many other options to play Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition on any other. You can play it on PC, you can play it on Super Nintendo, you can play it, the arcade version. Let's go ahead and pick another character. Game start. Let's go ahead and pick Guile. Start off with the mirror match. So I play a lot of Street Fighter 5, and I play Nash. He's my main character that I use, and while he's not a charged character, so he's really different from Guile. He still has a lot of similarities, like this backward punch right there. I don't know what other moves he has that's the same. But in Street Fighter 5, they have a lot of similar moves, even though they play wildly different, very different from each other. I would say their normal moves are the same, or not the same, but a lot of their normal moves are similar. So kind of, oh yeah, that kick right there. You see, in Street Fighter, got him. In Street Fighter 5, that kick right there for Nash is a light kick. So you will hold forward light kick, and then he would do that little knee thrust. But for this, it's middle kick, forward middle kick. I believe it's 4. I'm just pressing 4. Let me see real quick if it's, yeah. Okay, so yeah, he has that kick. Oh, you can press back here as well. So this is just straight up middle kick. In Street Fighter 5 for Nash, this is forward middle kick would do this, but in forward light kick does that. Can't let Ken beat me. Can't let Ken beat me. Should have flash kicked. That combo doesn't work, or did I just drop it, or what? Got him. Oh man, he didn't do the backwards punch. Got it. That's fun. Break the barrel. I remember when they added that to Street Fighter 5, the little boxes in that Guile stage, and the little signs in Ryu stage. They added those late into the game. All right, Chun-Li.
Round 1, fight! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! Sonic boom! You win! Round 2, fight!
knew she was gonna jump again. I'm just gonna wake up with it. Oh, it doesn't knock down sometimes. She could still hit me. She could still hit me even though I blade kick sometimes. But yeah, the Sega Genesis version of this game, Street Fighter 2, would not be my first choice. But to be fair, man, there are a lot of, not a lot, but there's a few Sega Genesis games that I found out that benefit a little bit. They're very, it's convenient to have. It's very convenient to have the 6-button controller for a few of these games out here. Like Beyond Oasis, I found out it's pretty convenient to have the 6-button controller for like the menus, a little extra little menus and stuff that you can have.
Perfect.
What other game? I heard that Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I don't think that's not on the Sega Genesis Mini, but I heard that that's a game that benefits from having the 6-button controller, of course. Eternal Champions, I believe, benefits from the 6-button controller. So, I mean, there's a few more games than I thought that would benefit from the 6-button controller on the Sega Genesis. But overall, man, I would still say 95% of the Sega Genesis library is good with the 3-button controller. And even those games that, you know, they benefit from the 6-button controller, they're still perfectly fine with they're still good with the 3-button controller anyway. I would say fighting games would be the ones that would be, you know, pretty much a pain in the butt to play with the 3-button. Alright, but enough about the 3-button and versus, you know, 6-button and all that stuff. Let's just play this game. Let's try to see as much as we can. Ooh, got my combo off. I've never been really a Guile player, man, so all this is me pretty much doing these combos for the first time. I've always liked God, man, but never. And like even right now, man, my hand is starting to hurt. Just holding it back, charging all the time, man, that's kind of hard for me. I remember a long time ago when Street Fighter 4 came out, I played Guile and Blanca, and they're both charged characters, ended up hurting my hand to the point to where I couldn't even drive, because I drive stick, so I had to drive stick with my I had to shift and steer with my right hand. My left hand was pretty much useless because it hurt so bad. So that's why I started playing with stick. And in the process of playing stick, I injured my right arm, my elbow, because I was mashing the button so hard when Street Fighter 5 came out. I never really played Street Fighter 4 too much because I didn't like the online, the way it felt. It felt like you were underwater. I don't know if anybody else's online was like that, but my online, man, was underwater, man. It was unplayable. But when Street Fighter 5 came out, it felt like I'm playing somebody in Japan. It felt like they were right next to me. So I really got into Street Fighter 5 online. Still play it to this day. And I played it so much though, man, and so hard. I would mash on the button so hard and tense my arm up so hard that I injured my my left elbow to where I couldn't play for a while. Or I still played, but I had to slow it down a little bit and let my elbow heal. I just want him to jump. Ah. gonna throw another fireball. All right, let me lose one more time and play with another character. I think I want to pick Bison, another charged character. Gotta go to the other side. Yeah, I want to lose him. I just want to get my licks ready. Playing with Guile is pretty fun though. Sometimes I'll watch the I watch a lot of the Street Fighter tournaments that go on, like the Capcom Pro Tour and Evo and stuff like that. And you'll see certain players. You see certain players. One in particular named Knuckle Dude. He plays with the controller. And he's one of the better players, and he'll play like a charged character. Like he plays a lot of Guile, and you'll see him like after rounds, in between rounds, he'll be like, you know, shaking his hand, or, you know, kind of like massaging his hand or something like that, his thumb. And I'm like, yep, he's got the same thing, or the same thing happened. All right, let's go ahead and get beat by him. Same thing happens to him that happens to me, man. He's just playing so much that he's hurting his hand. Playing with Guile is kind of fun. All right. All right, let's see this modern day lynching real quick. Oh wait, no, this is the lynching. That's something else. My bad. Let's go ahead and pick. Yeah, I said I was gonna pick Bison. Let's go ahead and pick Bison real quick. Yeah, it's not a bad version of Street Fighter 2. It's just the worst version of Street Fighter 2. That I've ever played anyway. It's perfectly playable. It's just the visuals and the audio that's off. Off by a little bit, not even a lot. But like I said, man, so many different ways to play Street Fighter 2. There's so many cheap and free ways to play Street Fighter 2. It's like, it's not that big. Oh my god. Whoa. Wow, he just knows when I'm gonna do it. We can just get out of there. I wanna do the scissor kick. Why can't I do the scissor kick? Oh, you can. Okay, I thought he was gonna hit me with the dragon punch. He seemed to know to do it before, exactly when I came at him. So. But man, online you play some people like that, man. They in Street Fighter 5, I'll dash at them, and after you dash, you have two options. You can hit them or you can throw them. And if you to get out of it, this is so cheap. Bison hasn't changed, but to get out of a throw, you have to throw back. So at the same time I try to throw you, you have to try to throw me, and that's how they kind of break up and they separate from each other, and you avoid it being thrown. If you do that, and I instead of trying to throw you, I punch you instead or kick you instead, then you would get hit, you would get punched. And that's a good way for people to bait each other. They'll bait each other like that. It's a 50. It's called a 50-50. It's a mind game. You don't know if you're on the ground. You don't know if I'm gonna punch you or throw you. So you have to guess. And I'm playing this guy the other day, and every time I punched, he blocked. Every time I tried to throw him, he would tech my throw. Teching the throw is just punch, hit and throw at the same time I hit throw, and that's called teching the throw. And he would do that every time, and I'm like, am I playing a robot? Like, what's going on, man? What kind of special like program or controller does he have that he just knows when I'm doing it? You have a split second to decide. Like it really is a guess. You really have no clue what the other person is gonna do when they're standing above you. This is so. I'm gonna try some different moves. But yeah, man. So it's like that sometimes, and people like that I love to play because it kind of levels you up. It makes you better. It makes you tighter at blocking. It makes you tighter at not spamming like the same moves over and over again like I'm doing right now. Playing a computer is like kind of pointless. And it if you're trying to get good at Street Fighter, it kind of deadens your senses. It deadens your skills. You lose your skills because you can just do this all day, and there's no incentive to really learn good combos and learn how to properly, do footsies, play footsies and Oki and blocking and setting up for different combos and stuff like that. There's really no point. So if you play a really good person, man, if a good person, like the other day, man, I played somebody, he got over 40, he went over 40 sets against me. I didn't win not a single set, but I sat there and played until he was ready to quit, because that really, I feel like that game, or that session really leveled me up as a player. Oh, Vice is not gonna get this one. Oh, he sucks at this. Alright, I'm just go ahead and play this one real quick, and then we will call it. Pretty cool. Got him. I like how his leg tucks in under him. Goes to the side, whatever he's doing. Alright, so that's Street Fighter 2 Special Championship Edition for the Sega Genesis Mini. And yeah, sure, why not? Put it on the Sega Genesis Mini. I wouldn't have chosen it. especially because of the controller issue. What Sega could have did was come out with giving us one 3-button controller and one 6-button controller. They could have did that. Yeah, they could have did that. Just giving us one 6-button and one 3-button. That way, you know what I'm saying, the best of both worlds. Not every game needs, and you know, then you'll only have to buy one 6-button controller if you really want to play Street Fighter 2 on the Sega Genesis. You know what I mean? But damn, he is ready. Wow. Alright, let's see if I can beat this guy real quick. I know I said that when I fought Dowsum that was going to be the last one, but let's see if we can do this.
Round 3, fight.
Ooh. He has a really long jump. I haven't hit anybody with a scissor kick yet. Yeah, he got it. Alright, good games. Ryu. Alright, so anyway, yeah. That's all I was saying. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wouldn't have put it on here, but... And I don't know anybody that can't get Street Fighter any other way, but... it's on here, so... And it's not horrible. It's actually pretty decent. So yeah, that's Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition for the Sega Genesis Mini. What do you guys think? You guys agree with me? Or do you feel like it definitely deserves to be on the Sega Genesis Mini, or do you feel it definitely shouldn't be on the Sega Genesis Mini? There's way better games or more deserving games to be on the system, or something that you would have enjoyed better personally. That's gonna do it for this episode. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and bye.